Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. As you can probably tell, I am recovering from the bubonic plague. Today, my throat was incredibly sore yesterday, but my throat feels fine today. It's just my voice is not really there, but we gotta do a Sigma grind mode session anyways and record a video for y'all. So bear with me on that. Today we are going to be talking about, honestly, probably one of the most requested video topics that I've had in quite a long time, which is surprising just because of the content that we're going to be talking about. I'm definitely not an expert on this, and definitely like a little bit of a trigger warning when it comes to someone that considers themselves a gainer. This person is pretty popular on TikTok, and who we're going to be talking about today is everythick __, and it says, if you look right here on their profile, everythick fat gainer. Now, this is someone that is intentionally gaining weight on TikTok, and they have, they don't have like a huge following, but some of their videos have definitely gotten to be pretty popular, and has led to a lot of people kind of curious about what other people think about it. And so I'm not an expert on this type of stuff, but I will share my opinion. And I think it's interesting because obviously when it comes to the fat acceptance, or people that are, bigger and that are like proud of their size, it's a lot of women. So we end up talking about a lot of women. So it is kind of a cool experience, and it's nice to be able to talk about a guy, being a dude myself, right? And so let's just kind of get into these videos. We're not going to be able to listen to what is being played because the music is all copyright. But as you can see with the title of this one and what it says on the screen, it says, "I got fat because I wanted, and I'm proud as a fat gainer." I'm assuming English isn't his first language. "Let's gain weight. My gainer journey from 57 kilograms to 89 kilograms in 3 years." And so it shows him kind of eating, and a lot of the videos it shows him, like, obviously a lot of what he does is he films himself in really what most people would consider unflattering angles. So the types of filming that they do for like My 500 Pound Life and stuff like that, where it's like under and the belly is really pronounced. So there's definitely a sort of fetish kind of thing going on, in my opinion, going on here. And so a lot of the stuff that he films is himself kind of eating, right? And then it says, "Be proud of your body, no matter its size. Gaining fat is as valid as building muscles. We both work hard to achieve the bodies that we want." Now, I think, I guess I can kind of understand where he's coming from, because I'm assuming that gaining weight for him has been something that he is obviously actively trying to do, right? And if you were to compare that, you could kind of compare that to someone that is actively trying to gain weight, as in gaining muscles. But I would say that most people would say that there is quite a difference between gaining fat and gaining muscle, because gaining fat is something that you can certainly do basically on accident. It's something that you're not trying to do. It's just kind of happening, right? Where it comes to building muscle, that is something that is incredibly difficult, and it takes a lot of time and effort, and you have to be very intentional about, the type of workouts that you're doing, the types of foods that you're eating, if you're getting enough protein, right? Like, I don't think that this is anything that's new to anyone. Like, y'all know how that goes, right? If you want to put on muscle, it's going to take effort. And if you want to put on fat, for most people, it's not going to require effort. A lot of times it is the opposite of that, right? It's no longer putting in the effort. And so, it's just interesting kind of seeing this from his point of view, right? But we'll continue playing it. But again, it's just him like actively filming himself from like the worst angles, and then like the types of foods that he is eating. I think it's obviously very much so some sort of fetish content. And it's just like, I mean, even if you're a bigger person, right? Like, most bigger people are not actively eating like just like whipped cream out of the bottle and then filming themselves. And it's interesting because this kind of like the thought that popped into my mind is, I am curious as to what like a fat acceptance person would think about this. I can only imagine that they would be not the happiest about something like this, because honestly, like, it feels like when I watch these videos and when I watch someone doing this, it feels like it's almost a parody of those fat acceptance people. Because like, if we're being completely honest, right, and we are being, I think being fair to the fat acceptance community, the majority of them will say that they are not telling people that they should gain weight, right? They're not telling people you should get fatter, right? You could argue that some people have done things that make it seem like that's what's being said. But I would say if you were to have a genuine conversation, sat down face to face with them, they would say, I would never tell someone that they should gain weight, right? Their whole thing is that I'm trying to tell people that you don't have to lose weight, which again is a whole other can of worms. But it's very interesting because he is very much so actively saying in all of his videos that you should gain weight and that gaining weight is good, right? And that like more people find him attractive because he has gained weight. And it's interesting if we look at the comments, right? This top comment on this video is, keep going. Here's to another year of getting fatter. But most of the comments on this are like, not the nicest, right? So bro is trying to speed run life. My God help you. Speed run to Nikocado avocado. Bro, why? Bro, just stop. So obviously the majority of people that are seeing this are people that are very confused as to why this person is doing this. This next TikTok is him responding to a comment. And so the comment says, not at all, seek professional help because the people hyping you up are just as unhealthy as you and want to see others like you suffer with them for self-satisfaction. This isn't normal. Now, I don't know exactly why people are into this. I think some people, it just genuinely is a fetish for them, which again, I mean, I guess to each their own, but that is, it seems like actively encouraging someone to harm their health is a little bit more than just like a harmless fetish, in my opinion. But you know, it is what it is. But if we kind of scroll through this TikTok, again, we can't really listen to them because of the audio in them, and I apologize for that. But he goes on to write, I disagree at all. Again, I don't think English is his first language. People encourage me to gain weight because they support me. Your toxic gym mentality must accept the fact that there are people who find fat hotter and better than muscles. Now, I think that there are definitely certain people that maybe, you know, if we want to talk about like fat phobia, they see any fat person, there's no way that anyone can find them attractive. I don't think that that's true. I think there's certainly people that find that attractive, but this is a very different case than someone that is just gaining weight, right? This is someone that is actively trying to gain weight and then obviously monetizing that, right? So we see there's a Patreon link, and I'm sure that they are trying to, you know, they're probably filming some videos that are to make money, which it's very strange to see this, especially like on TikTok and like being promoted so much, right? And then he goes on to say, and not only that, even though I used to succeed more in real life with other guys in clubs when I was skinny, the reality is that now I get more stares and my socials are burning. Guys like me way more now than before. And so it's like, you know, I'm getting more attention on social media. Well, it's like you're getting, I would say I'm sure there are people that are interested in this, but to say that the attention on social media is why you are doing this, I think is a sign that you are doing this for, in my opinion, the wrong reasons, right? You're doing this because you want to get notoriety and then obviously make money. And I always say that, like, I don't think that just because I disagree with someone that this shouldn't be monetized and people shouldn't be able to make money off of this. But this is something that it really does feel weird and uncomfortable that there are people that are actively going to pay for this, right? And that they are going to actively encourage monetarily this person to eat incredibly unhealthy. And it's like, obviously this guy's not super large, but when you're gaining that amount of weight in a short amount of time, that does a number on your health, right? And I am very curious as to why, because this is actually the link to his YouTube channel that is no longer available, right? It says this channel was removed because it violated our community guidelines. I don't know exactly what community guidelines were, you know, violated, but clearly some of them were, right? And so YouTube took a stand to an extent. I don't know. I would assume that he was probably trying to make money through YouTube, and that's not okay, like with this kind of content. Obviously, you're allowed to make money on YouTube, but okay, let's keep reading here. It goes on to say most of the guys like me bigger, and it's just like, there's so much more into life than who finds you attractive, right? But he goes on to say, if I like gaining weight and there are wonderful guys I didn't even have the chance to talk to when I was skinny that like me getting fatter and encourage me to gain more, what's the problem? Gainers like me should embrace our being with no shame and enjoy fatness. Let's be fat. So again, it's like very much so, like there are signs of the health at every size, and there are like, this is obviously like, I just am so curious what people from that subsect of, people would think about this, right? And so he's like actively saying, let's gain weight, which is not something you really ever hear from other people that are in the, fat acceptance community. And then this last one is just kind of showing himself from like, from where he was before to where he is now. So this is kind of where he was at his leanest, probably just how he normally looked before, and then this is where he's at now. So he's saying he's gained 70.5 pounds of pure fat, right? But again, this angle is taken to make him look as large as physically possible, right? And this is from 2023, and I think it's September. And so there's been over a year now of probably more gaining, so he's larger now. And so I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and say that I am obviously like an expert on this stuff. I think that it's strange. It's definitely not something that I am very into. I think that, it's clear that this is someone that is maybe going through something mentally, and, those people are still allowed to have accounts on TikTok. I think that, I don't know. I think that I can understand being concerned about it, but it's one of those things where I think it is so fringe that I think being really like concerned and feeling like this is a super huge deal, I don't know. I see it and I just like, I see someone that is harming themselves, but I mean, at the end of the day, that they're allowed to do that. I don't think that they should be, like legally in trouble, but I think that if TikTok decided to, make it so that this content wasn't viable on the site, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. That's kind of where I'm sitting with that. But I would love to know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. I appreciate you guys watching to this point, especially with how my voice sounds. I apologize. If you were able to make it this far, I don't know how you did it, but thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace. But we're feeling better. My sore was incredibly throat yesterday. Huge following, but some of their videos have definitely damn